What was the big incident at your high school? I'll go first. Anyone that knows me knows this is about to get messed up really quick. But essentially, there was a high school party, an all white themed party. Already a dumb idea, but that's not the point. Two of the students, not one, two of the students thought it would be a good idea to wear white robes with white pillowcases on top of their heads. So essentially, they dressed like KKK members. Oh, and I have the proof. It was literally in multiple news articles. You can see it right here. Look at that. Look at what they're wearing, right? It gets even more messed up. There were multiple news sources, Global being one of them, that tried to make it come off as a misunderstanding. It literally says, police say it's a misunderstanding and the students didn't intend to come off as racist. And I know high school students are dumb, but you're telling me as one, you put on a white robe and a white pillowcase and see nothing wrong with it? If you ask me, the misunderstanding was just a way of protecting their safety because they were receiving death threats. But yeah, that was the big thing.
Okay, here it is. My time to shine. Ben Waiton. So I had the typical gay story, dating the quarterback of the football team, the number one basketball player, in the closet, doing my thing. And all of a sudden I, was that crazy Scorpio, that crazy bitch that decided to go through his phone because insecurities, right? And found pictures of the teacher. The only teacher that I came out to, the one teacher that I decided to confide in until I told this teacher that I was a homosexual. She not only was sleeping with him as a teenager, she was sleeping with 3 others, and now she's a sex offender. She's a registered sex offender. And I'm the one who turned her in.
Alright. So a man like me went to Central Tech, so I have bare stuff to choose from, but here's the most memorable one still. So basically it was lunchtime, so we did what we always do at Central Tech during lunchtime. We balled up a thing. But man's loafed it, so we never really got to eat. I was Marv too. So I'm about to go back to class. I see one of my brethren, he's like, yo, I have a spare, you're not trying to come to McDonald's? I'm like, alright, say less, because it really didn't take much for me to skip that year. So tell me how I'm at McDonald's. Mans are munching on a junior chicken. My brethren's like, yo, look at the TV screen. I look up. Tell me why our high school is on TV. Like, there's a helicopter flying over our school. Then next thing you know, there's like SWAT team running into the school with riot shields and thing. We're like, what's going on? Turns out there was a shootout in the stairwell and the school was under lockdown for 5 hours. But because man skipped, we avoided the whole thing still. But yeah, that changed everything at that school.
Okay, so there's 3. So one time this girl airdropped her sex tape to the entire sea lunch period, which is basically giving everyone a child pornography charge because she was definitely underage at the time. And when I mean airdrop to everyone, I mean teachers, students, staff, the lunch ladies who had their phones on them. Yeah, everyone. The second time was the senior prom was scheduled the same day in the same place as a KKK rally in the mountains, so that was fun. And then the third one is probably one of my least favorite. This guy came into school dressed up as a penguin. I don't know how long he did it for, but he was basically being like, I'm a penguin, I identify as a penguin, and I need my own penguin bathroom, which is super transphobic and gross. And a lot of people were like being like, haha, funny, lol, when like trans students literally had no bathrooms in our school. And yeah, if you say that I'm being too sensitive about that, please die.
Okay, I might get in trouble for saying this, might not. If you went to my high school, you already know what I'm about to say. So my sophomore year of high school, I had a PE teacher. I didn't like her. She didn't even cry on my birthday. I don't like her. But basically, she was like, she loved the guys. Like, all of the guys were hella cool with her. She was like hella rude to the girls. Most of her class was like, I would say 80 to 85% of the guy athletes, and then like the rest of us were the female athletes. But basically, she fucked this dude who was a junior at the time. So he had to be like 16, not even 17. She was like married. Or I was going through divorce, and like word got out, nobody really believed it. And then news reporters were there, cops came, all that shit. She obviously got fired. Her mom worked for the office, so her mom quit, obviously. And nobody talked about it. So like freshman year of college, when I went back home for like the school assembly, I was with 2 of my guy friends who were friends with that guy. And I was like, oh, like, do you guys know what happened? Like, nobody talks about it. And they're like, who do you think dropped him off?
Excuse me, I was just about to take a fucking nap, but I came across this. I didn't even know about this. I graduated in 2017. It's been a minute, but apparently this occurred. Thank God it was before I even attended the fucking school. But apparently there was this kid, and he was getting picked on by a select few people. And one day he brought in cupcakes. He personally gave each and every one of his bullies these special fucking cupcakes. Come to find out, no pun intended, you'll find out why I said that later. This man ejaculated into the frosting and fed it to them. And proceeded to walk across the graduating stage. If that's not bad bitch energy, I don't know what is, honey.
So I know that other people on TikTok have had stories similar to this, but I feel like I gotta tell my own. So my school had our own poop bandit, but we called him the Mad Shitter. The crazy thing about our Mad Shitter is the fact that his MO is he would go into the boys' bathroom, lean up against the wall, and then take a shit. And every single time after these incidents, they would always post teachers outside of the boys' bathroom just to see if he would strike again. But with serial killer-like precision, he would wait until the heat died down, they would stop posting teachers outside of the bathroom, and then guess what? He would do it again. The crazy thing is, this went on for 2 years. No one knows who it was. And they never caught me.
You love to see it. Also, our principal covered up a pedophile teacher, and an administrator committed credit card fraud. So, you gotta love it. You love to see it.
Okay, strap yourselves in because this one's disgusting. So I went to a school called Jean Vanier Catholic High School, and the man that the school was named after, Jean Vanier, was deemed a saint in the 70s or 80s for all the beautiful things he did for children and women around the world and opened up charities, all this nonsense. He died 2 years ago, rest his soul. But a little birdie flew around and told the world the actual man that he was. They found out he was a pedophile. He diddled children and he sexually abused women. So now my high school that's called Jean Vanier is dumping the name, switching it to something else, and we found out the old saint is going to hell because he's a pervert and a pedo. So I win.
Okay, I went to Princess Anne High School, and the first thing you might think of is Pharrell, but I'm about to tell you about the first time I interacted with a murderer. So in my senior year, everybody's favorite security guard, Mr. Henry, murdered his girlfriend in an apartment while 5 kids slept in the next room, and then he came to work like nothing happened. Albritton told police that she called him at about 3 a.m. intoxicated, insisting that he came over and then demanded sex from him. When she hit him, he pulled his knife out, and then she repeatedly pushed her neck into his knife until she collapsed. He took the knife and some bloody clothes in bags to Princess Anne High School in Virginia Beach, where he worked as a security guard, and put them in trash bins there. And then he came inside like nothing happened. Mr. Henry was definitely not all there. He was super weird but very nice, but he was always looking out. He would give us money all the time, and that morning he gave us $5s instead of dollars, which, I mean, everything in the school cafeteria is like 50 cents. I couldn't find a mugshot, but this is basically what he looked like, and his IQ matches that defense.
Boy, do I have one for you. Alright, so it was my sophomore year of high school, so the year 2018, it was March. Basically, in the middle of my science class, a kid had a seizure, and our entire school went into a medical lockdown and was rushed to the hospital. This seizure was the result of an overdose that was a part of this kid's suicide attempt. They actually found a suicide note on the kid's school laptop while the kid was having a seizure. They were in medical lockdown for a while. Kid was obviously rushed to the hospital, and they almost died. And for a while, it was actually going around school that they had died, and while they were very close to it, they didn't actually die. They spent a week in the PICU and 2 months in the psych unit. Why are you telling us this? It's private. The kid was me.
I'm going to start by prefacing this with I went to a Catholic school, so this just makes it 10 times worse. But it's my time to shine because my high school was so fucked up. And there was a porn group that was made by all the hockey boys and the boys that were on the sports team. And basically this group was if any guy got a nude or a nude video to post it in the group so everyone could see it. And there were thousands of videos and photos in this group. And the girls found out and their families found out, and then the police got involved and it became this huge thing at our high school. So much so that the boys had to have an assembly on how to respect girls, and the girls had to have an assembly on how to respect themselves. And the boys were going to get charged with child pornography, but somehow got out of it. And I heard that it's still going on today. There are still groups like this happening at the same high school. Don't send nudes if you're under 18 because it is child pornography.